Hey, Mom, look. TJ just posted on Twitter. Damn, that's a nice pool. And this again just goes to show how good of a guy TJ is. Skimming his pool, making sure it's clean for his guests. Excuse me for a second. I think I just shit my pants. I think that was everyone's initial reaction to the video TJ posted yesterday. Although in the captions he did clarify he is completely okay. It's a real good one, TJ, man. Real funny. Ha 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 ha. Just don't ever do that shit again.
Don't ever do that again.
Steelers season almost got off to one hell of a rocky start, and we haven't even played a damn game yet, because we know what the Steelers' record is without the depoy in there. But enough of TJ's hilarious video. Let's get into more QB news that dropped recently. We had the Mitch extension that happened. Omar announced that on Pat McAfee's show, but more details have come out about this deal, so we'll break it down. But also, Mason Rudolph went on the Steel Here podcast today and discussed why he came back to Pittsburgh. But first, let's go over this Mitch deal. The Steelers officially announced it today on Twitter, and the reactions are a mixed bag, to say the least. Pickett to Pickens season says that's Burrow's father. Hunter 28 is not thrilled. 3 years, ? Sheesh. Himmer Fredette posted this picture of a adult Mitch Trubisky with a baby Joe Burrow. Nick says the deal was 2.5 years too many. At Ramses57 says, this is great. He's a terrific teammate and player! ! At Ali Alexa says, I'd rather we have signed Mason to a 10-year deal than any multi-year deal with Mitch. At Matthew 08691148 thinks Mitch now has the best job in sports. Austin Artinger gives the NFL social media team advice. I can assure you nobody needed a graphic for a contract restructure of a backup QB. And finally, at real_villain proclaims my QB too with this screenshot. We also have Ian Rappaport giving us the exact contract details. Says the Steelers gave Trubisky a 2-year extension, which means he's now under contract for 3 years and $19.4 million. Including upside, Trubisky can earn a total of $33 million over the length of the contract. A solid payday for a valued part of the QB room. I got to give myself a pat on the back because I believe I said on yesterday's podcast before these numbers were known that I predicted Mitch's extension being around $6 to $7 million per year. He's got to be getting paid a premium for that backup role. I'm going to guess it's around 6 or 7 per year.
Yeah,
a solid backup's getting 4 or 5, but for Mitch, 6 or 7. And I think that makes sense. And if my math is right, what is 19.4 divided by 3? 6.46 million. Hashtag no Shadikas. And in terms of whether or not this is a good move for the Steelers, I stand by everything I said yesterday and have been saying throughout this offseason and wanting to keep Mitch around as the backup. This is a dub for the Steelers. You got the best backup in the league locked up for the next 3 years. It's not costing you really an arm and a leg. This is a premium price for a backup quarterback, but Mitch is now a premium backup quarterback. I think he's probably, if not the best in the league, one of the best. Hell, I'd take him over a handful of starters. He's probably actually like a top 26, 27 quarterback in the league. I take him over Baker, Tannehill, Cousins, Tua, Sam Howell, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, probably a bunch of these rookies that just came into the league. Anyone else I'm missing? And the good thing about this extension for this year is it frees up cap space now for us to potentially make a move like signing Quan Alexander or Reuben Foster. Fingers crossed, hopefully something like that happens. But I'll also be interested in seeing what his cap hits and dead cap will be for 2024 and 2025 to truly know how good of a deal this is for the Steelers. But right now, I'm just going to trust in Omar. He hasn't let us down yet, right? Last story of the day, though, Mason Rudolph talks about why he ended up returning to Pittsburgh.
How did this come about? I think number one, the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the tunnel, Jerry. It's a special place, and the continuity we got in the quarterback room, relationships, Mike T, and his mode of operation, his charisma. You know, yeah, just talked to Omar and Mike T like into last week, and kind of hadn't had much communication through the free agent process, but yeah, I'm here now, and I'm fired up to be back and to be a part of the team, and um, it's not God's got a plan, and not always what we might think it is, but I'm happy to be back full circle and put my hand in the pile, as Coach T would say.
And Mason did, in fact, confirm he was in discussions with some other teams.
Well, I think I'm not going to name teams because I'm a part of the only team that matters now. But I had opportunities, and but when you look at them, and I went into it. I tried to be reasonable with the expectation, knowing, hey, I've had 2 starts in the last 3 seasons.
Right.
Not a whole lot of game tape to sort of go off of. But at the same time, I'm confident about what I put on tape, and have some experience, but at the same time, I think, yeah, there's just so many things that are attractive about this place, and when they reached out and let me know the door was open. I think the continuity with the offense, knowing Matt's system, kind of coming back and picking up, without really much of a learning curve, was attractive. And then Mike T, and then I think the roster that they've built. I think we got a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Now, I'm not sure if those contract negotiations with the other teams came with a contract offer or not, but ultimately, this again is a win-win for the Steelers and the player involved. For Mason, you got a job. For the Steelers, you got a guy that's familiar with the team, the organization, and is going to show up on time.
We know what it is. We know how it's going to show up to work, and it's going to come on time. Even in controversy, it didn't give us no.
It's going to be on time.
Hey, you can't take being on time for granted.
But that's it for this edition of Big Deke News on a Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on the Mitch extension after knowing these new contract details. If you got any reaction to what Mason said and why he came back to Pittsburgh. And also TJ Watt's funny social media video that actually wasn't funny at all. But either way, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there and stay chilling. Peace.